They've been playing football at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City for 52 years. This is the 425th and coldest game Chiefs fans have ever experienced. The temperature is 4 below. A west-northwest wind has the wind chill 27 below for this AFC Wild Card game as Patrick Mahomes and the West Champs, the 3 seed, the Kansas City Chiefs, welcome Tua Tagovailoa and the 6 seed Miami Dolphins. On this frigid night, we say good evening. Mike Tirico, Jason Garrett, Kaylee Hartung braving the elements. We'll hear from her on the sideline as our night goes on. All right, the weather's going to impact everything tonight. What's the most important ways you think it's going to impact this game?
You know, Mike, this game is going to come down to 3 things. The ball, the ball, the ball. Even the most basic fundamental things in football will be a challenge tonight. Center quarterback exchange, handing the ball off, tossing the ball, throwing and catching. All the aspects of the kicking game, the snap, the hold, the kick, punting it, fielding punts and fielding kickoffs. It's going to be a challenge for everybody, and the team that handles the ball the best, they're going to be the team that wins the game.
A lot of folks say, hey, it's more Chiefs weather than Dolphins. Of course, but you talk to the Chiefs players, they've never experienced anything like this before. As the defending Super Bowl champions take the field here in Kansas City, and yes, she's here. Watch, it looks like a Taylor video.
Sure
Here we
does.
go with the Chiefs and Dolphins. Ahmed, back to you.
She is here, and one of the real stories as well. Tyreek Hill is making his return here. They were able to slow him down when they met earlier this season. So what did they do in that game that worked?
Well, they got physical, number one, Rodney. And Steve Spagnuolo, the defensive coordinator, he knows Tyreek's going to be hyped up. They're going to want to get the ball to him. They've got to not let Tyreek Hill beat them.
These guys know Tyreek Hill. They want to send him a message. And one of the things that you have to do when you're playing against Tua, take away his first read, force him to hold the ball, and force him to go somewhere else.
All right, let's pick this game. I'm going with Kansas City. Even though they've looked beatable all year, I think Andy Reid comes up with a careful game plan with just enough gambles to win. I'm going Chiefs.
Yeah, Kansas City has not been dominant at home like we're used to seeing, but I think they'll play well enough, make enough plays to win the game tonight.
I like Kansas City, too, just the experience. Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, and I think Andy will commit to running the football. I think Chris Jones is going to have a big night.
One of the greatest weekends of the year. Every year it continues.
Look at you smiling with all that cold
in the studio. Let's go, Albert.
Is that fire? Is the fire working? Great day for that. KC getting introduced.
It's that defense right there, man.
The defense.
They know who got him here. It's the defense this year. It wasn't Mahomes in the offense.
So the big question coming into this one for any team that plays the Miami Dolphins is how do you stop that guy who had a franchise record 1,799 yards this year, Tyreek Hill. Did a pretty good job in Week 9 when they played earlier this year, but what's the strategy, Devin, against a guy that's that speedy?
What I love about this matchup is these guys played against Tyreek Hill every day of practice. So they have no problem saying, we're going to get in his face. We're going to surround him. We're going to put guys right next to him, on him, hit him. Right here, you can see they see the screens coming. Reed comes from 15 yards deep, attacks, and then right here, McDuffie, right in his face, catches the ball on him, then takes the ball from him. This Chiefs, there's no fear. They're not going to back down. They're going to be in his face and make it tough all night.
Yeah, they do a good job of mixing up coverages, mixing up looks for him, but they know where he is all the time. They know he's the prime candidate for Tua, the offense. And look at him. He's out there with no sleeves on, but I just read those lips. He said, it's cold out here. Yes, it is cold out there.
He just told him right there, hey, give me a jacket.
Give me a jacket. I need to stay warm.
I need this jacket. It's
Right,
cold
no
out
sleeves.
here.
I got no sleeves. I need a jacket.
Yeah.
They got some corners. L'Jarius Sneed, we both think is an all-pro guy. He is capable of being on the island from time to time against Tyreek Hill. They played a good amount of two-man the first time around, too, where it's, yes, this man on Tyreek Hill, but the safeties are back. That allows them to be aggressive at the line of scrimmage, takes away a lot of the underneath throws. I think we're going to continue to see that again tonight. Yeah. I think the Kansas City defense is going to go, I don't believe you're going to run the ball all game. I don't believe it. So they're going to continue to try to stop Tyreek and Waddle in the pass game.
And what the Chiefs have that other teams don't have, they have a guy like L'Jarius Sneed, you said, played at an all-pro level.
Right.
then you have an all-pro guy in McDuffie in the slot.
Right.
So no matter where they move Tyreek Hill, inside or outside, Kansas City can say we feel confident with either one of these matchups that we can go win and play good.
It was just last year where we were in the Super Bowl saying that Patrick Mahomes did not need Tyreek Hill. They could win without him. This year there have been times where we said they need a guy like Tyreek Hill. Issues with drops have been written about a lot. What do you make about the way that Kansas City is going to have to play Patrick Mahomes? Will he have to trust these wide receivers in this game?
Well, he's got to trust them. I don't think that's going to, stop him. I don't. I just hope they understand, Andy Reid, everybody, who they are, right? I don't expect them to all of a sudden become the 2019 Chiefs again and he's throwing for 50 touchdowns and 5,000 yards. That's not what they've been all year. I think they almost got to manage the game, run the ball a little bit, some wide receiver screens, and play action pass with Mahomes and take a shot down the field every now and then.
I agree. And Miami's defense needs to put some pressure on this Chiefs offense. Try to go make plays and make it hard.
I'm taking Chiefs 7-3, low-scoring game. Kevin, what do you
I am going with the Chiefs as well. I'm going Chiefs, so I'm going 20-13. I think they get the win.
I'm going Chiefs, too. They're at home, this weather. The Dolphins haven't looked good in ugly football games all year. Chiefs 24-20.
And you only can see it exclusively on Peacock. You will not see it on NBC. We are just moments away from kickoff in KC. Mike Tirico, Jason Garrett, and Kaylee Hartung have the call.
Ahmed, thank you. GEHA Field in Arrowhead, fourth coldest NFL playoff game. Official temperature 4 below for this matchup as the two-time Super Bowl MVP Patrick Mahomes and his defending champion Chiefs hope to start a repeat run to a third title in 5 years as they face their former teammate, the All-Pro Tyreek Hill and the Miami Dolphins in this AFC Wild Card game on Peacock. Mike Tirico, Jason Garrett back in the booth. Jason, a different story for the Chiefs. The defense kind of carried them here, second in points allowed. The offense wants to get into the party here for the postseason. How do they pick it back up, starting with tonight?
Like Simsy said, the Chiefs are a very different team this year than they've been in recent years. And it's important for them to recognize that and embrace who they are right now. Their defense is really, really good, and they can run the football, so Patrick Mahomes shouldn't feel like he has to make every play on every snap. He has to play within the system, throw the ball to Travis Kelce and Rashee Rice, and most importantly, hand the ball to Isaiah Pacheco. And then in the big moments, go be Patrick Mahomes and make those game-changing plays. It's a different way to play for them, but it's a good formula for them tonight and going forward in the playoffs.
All right, Miami, 9-3. They were right at the top of the AFC. Lose 3 of their last 5. Lose to Buffalo last Sunday night. Lose their chance to host a playoff game. Now they're playing here in 4 below. They've got 6 starters out on defense. How do they find a way to get a road win here in Arrowhead tonight?
They've been the greatest show on grass all year long. They can throw it with anybody in the NFL, but they run it really well too. And I think that's important. They have to make sure that Tyreek Hill gets his touches, but they need to lean on this running game a little bit for a couple reasons. The weather, but also take some pressure off their defense. They're decimated. So if they can run the ball successfully, they're going to help their defense by keeping Patrick Mahomes and company on the sidelines. That's going to help them win the game.
Well, the story, of course, is the weather, and in the middle of it all, Kaylee Hartung. Kaylee.
Well, Mike, as you look at the field from above, you'll see patches of ice, but the condition appears worse than it actually is. During pregame warmups, players on both teams told me they could get traction, they could make cuts, and both kickers said they weren't having any trouble with their footing, at least not yet. That's because there's an underground heating system here. 3 massive boilers are pumping heat into thousands of feet of piping, acting like a radiator to warm the grass and roots. That prevents the field from freezing solid, but one area of potential concern is the back line of the right end zone. It is iced over, even blurring visually what's out of bounds. And as for the players, each of them has their own way of managing the cold. Dolphins running back Raheem Mostert is wearing a sleeveless wetsuit underneath his uniform, and his teammate, the former Chief Tyreek Hill, he's going bare-armed because he said he didn't want anybody to think he was soft. So the sidelines will be their refuge. You have got 6 of these heated benches and 8 of the gas-powered heaters blowing on both sides, creating an entirely different climate. It is a balmy 40 degrees between the 30-yard markers, guys.
Hang there as much as you can, Kaylee. Thank you. Andy Reid, 19th playoff trip in 25 years as a head coach. Mike McDaniel, 2 for 2, taking the Dolphins to the playoffs as a wild card both years. All right, for those of you watching on Peacock or on our NBC stations in Miami and Kansas City, kickoff is coming up. And for the rest of you, we send it back to the studio to Ahmed, Chris, and Devin. Let's do this. We welcome you to Super Wild Card Weekend presented by Verizon. 4 below the air temperature, 27 below the wind chill. Tamba Ali bangs the drum. And the Chiefs fans braving it. It is not completely full here, but those who are here are being heard. Miami won the toss, deferred the option to the second half. So the Dolphins will kick it off. Jason Sanders kicks to Richie James. Welcome to a little bit of history as the Dolphins and Chiefs start the playoffs towards the sideline here, fielded on the bounce for Kansas City, and moving up the sidelines, Justin Watson. He's out of bounds at the 31. That's where the Kansas City offense will take over.